Do you plan your garden, every seed, every plant, every year? Or do you freewheel it and just wait to see what seeds you get and then determine where they're going to go? The answer to those questions will help define you and what kind of gardener you are. And there's no easy answer. Join me today as I discuss just how much garden planning is necessary. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and I have a big garden. And it's probably no surprise that this big space required a lot of planning. But I gardened for about 30 years before I started laying out this garden. And this was the first one that I actually planned. Like many gardeners, most of the time I just wing it. I know I have a certain number of beds, and I'll get some seeds that I'm interested in growing. And then after I get the seeds, I may come up with a plan of which ones are going to grow in which beds. But for the most part, it seems to just happen. I'll come out with some seed packets and say, I'm going to put these seeds in that bed. That's the reality of gardening for many, if not most, gardeners. And that was my primary way of gardening for many, many years. But once I got a space this big, I realized that if I took that approach with every bed, every year, it became a little chaotic. I did need to plan ahead of time which seeds I was going to get, which plants I was going to grow, which beds they were going to go in, and a little more importantly, as my garden expanded, where new beds were going to go. I anticipated that a big garden would take more planning. And this is my final garden plan. I show how I arrived at this process in a number of videos 5 and 6 years ago. How I started by just sketching out some general ideas of what garden areas I wanted, and then I began refining the ideas with different ideas, started laying it out on a grid line after measuring my garden, becoming a little more precise. And then this is the plan that I actually used to build my garden, including trees that I was going to put in. It's taken me 6 years to get my garden to this point. And if I were just winging it, there would probably be less order, less symmetry, less functionality in this garden. And I stuck with my plan pretty well. My plan calls for this garden arch. It calls for that patio area. It calls for the pollinator garden over there. And it's pretty much to the exact scale as I designed it. But I'm not the kind of gardener who is so rigid with my plan that I can't modify it if I come up with a different and hopefully better idea. The raspberries that are right here, according to the plan, were actually supposed to go on the other side of this path. This whole area was supposed to be flowers. But it made more sense to put the raspberries here first. And that wall that I put in last year, it's not in the plan at all. But after a visit to the UK and seeing the walled gardens and how they used wall space, I decided that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to put fruit trees in front of it. Those are going to be espaliered apple trees in a Belgian weave pattern. And this was just winging it. I had some extra concrete blocks, didn't know what to do with it, wanted to separate my blackberries from my raspberries, and so one day I just decided to frame this border area in. Not part of the plan, nothing that I had anticipated doing, but I went with it. So some of this is planned. A lot of this just happened. For me, this was going to be the most important part of my garden design. I measured all of this space that was going to be filled with plants one day, and right there is the very center of my garden. And I wanted to build a sitting space in that center. So I drew out that there would be a framed structure, and I would have 4 distinct beds with fruit bushes. The planning was critical, and I'm so glad I did it in this case, because these fruit bushes were put in the ground 3 years before I actually put the structure in. I measured everything precisely before planting. What that enabled was to have fruit when the structure was built, because the bushes are going to take a few years before they start setting their fruit. So now, each year, I have these wonderful gooseberries and currants and the honeyberries and the chokecherries, all in place, fruiting, and I can sit in the middle of it. I was able to do that because I planned it all well in advance. My plan, remember, called for the raspberries and the blackberries to be in this space right here. So when early on I decided to put them on the other side of the path, this area became a void, and I really wasn't sure what to do with it. So I ran some experiments to build good soil using very easy methods. And then after this structure was built, I came up with the idea of having a secret garden, a walled garden, a space behind the gazebo where I could have a water feature, another sitting area, and fill it with plants. I didn't know what that would look like. It took me more than a year to come up with this basic concept. And then it took me a few months to figure out just exactly how big it was going to be. So this was planned before I set these posts and put the fence in place. But it took me a long time to figure out just exactly what it was I was going to plan. And even now that I have this garden area ready to go, I still don't know what I'm going to do inside it. So I've started a whole bunch of flowers, perennials, annuals. And this year, to try to figure out what I'm going to do in there, I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna just start putting some plants in place to see what they look like. And then maybe that will help me form a more permanent idea of exactly what's going to be growing inside. I have 6 vegetable garden beds here. Originally, my plan called for 10 beds like this. In the first year, I put in these 4 beds. In the second year, I put in those 2 beds. And I was fully intending to continue the rows of beds. But then I discovered that the hail here in Colorado can be devastating to the beds like this. And so I modified my plan, and I decided to try something a little different. Instead of adding 2 more rows of raised beds like that over there, and I was going to have 2 big full-size fruit trees over here, I decided to build this enclosed garden space, a square about 25 feet by 25 feet with metal beds all the way around. But most importantly, I have these cables that run across the top. And this allows me to cover this entire area with hailcloth. Instead of having to cover each of those individual beds when a thunderstorm threatens, I just put up the hailcloth and it protects this entire area. That wasn't part of my plan. And even as I was building it, I really wasn't sure how it was going to work. But it works great. Being willing to pivot, to change a plan, to come up with new ideas can sometimes lead to great gardening. Having 2 long vertical beds like this is also part of my plan. But I was intending to have flowers, to have plants that would cascade over the edges. When I actually put these in place and I started looking around at all the other plants I had, particularly with the fruit bushes, I thought it made more sense to put strawberries here. So even though the structures met the plan, the actual plants changed when it came time to actually put them in the soil. I love planning and building a garden, but it ultimately comes down to the plants. And originally my greenhouse was going to be right here. But because I had shifted my raspberries and blackberries from that side to this side, I did need more space here to grow some of those flowers that I wanted to grow, and ultimately to put in more fruit trees. So when it came time to actually put the greenhouse in place, I shifted it on the plan almost 20 feet from where it was supposed to be to where it is right now. I gained a lot more plants in this area, the area that you first see when you come in my garden. But that also means that I lost what was supposed to be here. My original plan called for a chicken coop right there. By making these adjustments, my chicken coop ultimately ended up being dropped completely from my plans. I no longer am planning to have chickens. My neighbor has chickens. That's good enough for me. It enables me now to come up with some of the reasons why I can be more flexible in these other areas. The plan is a great way to begin, but it doesn't need to reflect the final result of the garden. Because every year I'm learning new things, I'm trying new things, and I'm envisioning a new garden. And so you may be thinking, well, why spend so much time coming up with a plan if you're just going to change it? And that's valid. I spent a lot of time developing this plan, and I've changed a lot of it over the years. I don't see that as a problem. By having the initial ideas that I had laid down on paper, I could start small. Even though the vision was big, I could start with just these 4 beds and learn from it, and then add 2 more beds and learn from that too, and then add a square area to garden in instead of the rows that I had intended. I could follow the basic guidelines that I had set for myself as to this was going to be the vegetable area, that was going to be the flower area, that's going to be the fruit bush and fruit tree area, and I've stuck with that. But it's my garden for my purposes, and I can change my own ideas to best suit my own vision. And that's what I would suggest for you too. Figure out what that vision is you have for your garden. And it might be just a small space with a few beds, but you probably should stop and come up with a basic plan. How many beds are going to fit in the space you have? If you have more space, what are you going to do after you put those first beds in? Are you going to have flowers or chickens or raspberries or fruit trees? By laying some of that out ahead of time, it really does relieve some of the stress of gardening. Because while we all encounter it, that day when you stand and look around and think, what am I going to do? Well, by having a basic idea of what you're going to do, it takes away some of that concern. And you can begin doing some of your planning, some of your preparation, some of your building during months like this when nothing is growing. It's winter. It's going to be spring soon. The plants are starting to grow, but I do a lot of my planning at this time of year when I can just walk through the garden and observe. And so now as I'm figuring out what vegetable plants I'm going to grow this year, I can have a basic idea that I'm going to have all of my salad crops in a single bed, But it really doesn't matter if it's that bed or that bed or this bed. So I'll figure out the plants as part of my plan each year. But honestly, I kind of wait until I come out into the garden to figure out just exactly where they're going to go. And when I have a seed packet with not enough seeds or too many seeds, that will also influence what goes into each of these individual beds. So I do a lot of planning, but I also do a lot of modification. And I do a lot of just waiting and seeing and winging it to then determine just exactly what I'm happy with in my gardening season. If you want to see more about some of the planning that I've done in this garden, watch one of these videos next. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.